Good evening, world. Welcome to Jews Word Podcast, Facebook Live, TikTok Live. This is episode 43. Episode 43 of Jews Word Podcast. While we get started, y'all tap in, y'all share with a friend, y'all spread the word, y'all spread the love. Tonight's episode is going to be about fatherhood. That's tonight's episode, fatherhood. It's a very, very important episode. I feel like all those guys, we need to hear this. Like, we do. It's some ugliness, it's some good sides, it's some bad sides to fatherhood. It's a lot of things that we have to endure. But it's going to be a good episode. It's going to cover all bases where we all can really take a look at ourselves and see the things we need to improve on, as in being a father. Off the top. So this episode is going to be about fatherhood, the uncomfortable truth about fatherhood. Just because we have a baby, that does not make you a father. It does not. Just because you get a lady pregnant or a woman or your wife, whoever, that doesn't make you a father. It's the presence. Like, the kids don't care about anything. They care about your presence being there. That's the only thing they care about. They don't care about anything else. Your presence means more to the child than anything else. And I've experienced this on my journey being a father, having two boys. Like, no matter what, your face matters. No matter what, I still have to show up. No matter how the situation goes, I got to show up. My son don't care about what's going on. They don't care about none of that. All they care about is daddy coming to get me? Is he going to show up? Is he giving me something for my birthday? We're going to Target today. We're going to Walmart today. They don't care about none of the statistics. All you want to know is, am I seeing my daddy today? That's how they are. That's how kids are. And we have to really be there for our kids, like emotionally. We have to be there for our kids emotionally. We have to be available for them emotionally. So that, you know what I'm saying, that's why it's important to work on yourself. That's why it's important for every man to isolate and try to elevate and do better and heal themselves from the past wounds, because how you are is going to show your imperfections, it's going to show through your kids. It's an energy transfer. Your kids read your energy. They watch you. They pay attention to your movements. They watch your micro expressions. They watch everything, your mannerisms. All your kids look so much like you. See much of your kids in yourself. That's what we got to realize. Financial integrity. You know, you got to go hit them extra hours to make sure you got money to pay. Shoot, Kyrie got football coming up. I got to make sure I better give him some cleats and stuff. I got to hit them extra hours. That's what I got to do. Moral leadership, no matter what happened. Teach your kids morality. Teach them to have ethics. Teach them to have standards. Like, teach them to have boundaries about life. Some things you just don't do. You know what I'm saying? Raise them, you know. Psychological safety. Don't expose your kids to too much. Like, all these things are what we're responsible as a father. Like, you can't let your kids see you mad sometimes. Sometimes you can't let your kids see you having a certain conversation. That's why it's called staying in a child's place. And that right there, you have to allow them to see you as a parent before you let them see your fullness. Like, that's very important that we do that. We let a child see us as a parent. My son asked me one time, Daddy, can you be my best friend? I told him, yeah, but I got to be your daddy first. So as fatherhood, yes, I'm glad that I had that bond with my son, but I have to let him know, hey, I'm going to raise you the correct way. I'm not finna play with you. You're not finna be out here doing what you want to do. But yes, I'll let you do whatever you want to do, long as you do what I ask you to do. So that's the mentality that really, like, you know, anything less than you investing on your kids, it's not really fatherhood. You're not gonna make an impact on your kids, man. And this is how society has set it up as men. It lowers the bar and wonders why families fracture. I mean, that's just the tone that's been set from the 1%ers all the way down. Like, that's just how it is since the beginning of time. Ever since I was, you know, a young black man, how I was told about life and what it means to be a black man, what it means to be a father. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, you got 2 strikes against you already. You're male and you're black. So, you know, that sets the tone for all of that, because that affects the ideology of a father, a husband, a friend. You know, it affects all of the ideology of that. So you really have to really take time to work on yourself to understand and pay attention to your kids and receive the energy that they're giving you and be able to reciprocate it back to them. Because if you really pay attention and get Just sit down and pay attention to your kids. They're going to tell you everything they need you to know. You just got to sit there and be patient enough to listen to them. But it's also made it seem like, you know, it's cool, but you could be a father outside of the house of your kids. Like, I'm an outside of the house father, both of my boys, but I still make sure I impact them in a major way in me having, you know, availability emotionally, spiritually, mentally with how I show up for them whenever they need me to show up. Like, that's the most important thing. Because when I was going through my hard time, shoot, my son used to tell me all the time, Daddy, you okay? You don't seem like it and you don't feel like it. And he was just feeding my energy, you know what I'm saying? Filling off my energy and just telling me like, hey, what's going on? You know? But yeah, through this fatherhood process, you have to work on yourself, man, because if you're not at peace, how can you be the best version of yourself for your child? How can you? How? You can't. So if you're not emotionally available, you don't have financial integrity to be there, you don't have moral leadership, you don't have psychological safety for your kids, you know what I'm saying? You have to protect all of that. Being a father, you have to do all of that, man, because everything you do, they're watching everything you do, every step you take. That's what they're watching. My guy, Sway, what up, big dog? Man, we don't realize that our place as fathers in our kids' life, like, man, we play a major part in that. We do. We play a major part in our kids' progression and through life. The father matters more than everybody think it is. Just society makes it seem like we don't matter, but we do. And a lot of times we as men is let down that narrative because we fall right in line with what they're saying about us too. So we have to take accountability for that too, though. So it's not just hearsay. It's some men have to take accountability that they're not in their kids' life that they should be. That's just point blank period. That's why I make sure I take mine serious. I make sure I show up for mine. My kids can never say my daddy was never there. I promise you. I swear to God. They can never say that. But you can still be a father. Like I said, you can still be a father outside the house. You don't have to be in the house. But we got to understand what we do when we are not there for them. Like, man, it's emotional disengagement. We're not there validating their feelings and pouring into them to tell them, hey, no matter what's going on, you know, Daddy still love you. I'm here. You know, hold your head up. You're still beautiful. You're intelligent. You're handsome. You're intelligent. I'm pretty sure. I hope everybody's telling their kids that they're handsome and they're beautiful and they're intelligent. You're building up their confidence. You're molding them to, hey, this is what I've been told my whole life. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. So compliments are not going to flatter me. I'm going to be able to see past BS and understand, you know, how to govern myself. I pour into my boys daily. Every time I talk to them, I pour into them. Tell them they're handsome and they're intelligent and they can do anything they put their mind to. We should all, like I said, we should all pour into our kids like that. But when we're not there like we need to be, man, we give emotional disengagement. They have unhealed anger. They be pent up about the reason why you weren't there when they needed you there. Avoidance of accountability. They start blaming it on, hey, my daddy wasn't here, so that's the reason why I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all that falls in line. Like, us not being there for our kids, it affects us in the long run. We just have to really pay attention to our childhood trauma. That's why we have mommy and daddy issues. What's up, niece? Appreciate you tapping in, sweetheart. Yeah, but that's why we have mommy and daddy issues. That's where all that comes from. So it's best, as I said, on your journey of fatherhood, man, like you have to work on yourself in a way that you're improving yourself and understanding why things went the way they went. But then you also have to come up with a plan and construct it to where you're going to show up the way nobody's ever showed up for you. Like, it's a lot of times where I wish my dad would have showed up more than what he did. But I said that I made a move that no matter what happened in life, when I have my kids, I'm going to always show up 100%. I don't care what's going on. If I have to cross seas to see my sons, I'm catching that flight. First thing smoking out of there. I refuse to let anything or anybody come between my relationship and me and my kids. Never. I don't care who it is. I don't care. Like, my kids, that's your reason for why. That should be your reason for why you go as hard as you do every day to make sure they don't have to experience the same life that you did. If you got it out the mud, they should be getting it out of the garden. That's what fatherhood is all about. Provide, making sure your kids are straight no matter what the circumstances look like. And I used to think that, I got to be perfect for my boys. No, your kids don't need no perfect parent. No, they don't. They need a regulated parent. They need a regulated father who's emotionally intelligent, spiritually intelligent, and being able to talk to him and teach him how to handle things mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. It's okay to cry. It's okay, but you need to have a reason for why you're crying. It's okay to feel the way you feel. Your feelings are valid. You're seen, you're loved, you're understood. But this is certain ways that you do things, certain things you're not going to do. We have to set those boundaries with our kids. We have to. You can't stray away from it. You have to be hard on your kids, especially when you have boys. I have two. So, man, listen, I'm on their neck 100% of the time. But I don't really have to be, because they understand I set the tone. I set the tone for how I want my household ran. I set the tone for how I want my boys to move. Move the mic, stand on the level, bro. Oh, my bad. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Sway said my face was covered on Facebook. Appreciate that, bro. But yeah, I have to be able to, even though I'm not in the house with my sons, I still have to set that tone. I still have to let them know, hey, this is my expectancies of you. Even though I'm not in the house with your mama, this is what I expect of you. And respecting your mama is part of one of those expectancies. And that's how true fatherhood should be. You should be able to sit down and tell your son why your mama had to ask you to do something 3 times. When she asks you to do one thing, you need to move. Whether we together or not, you're going to respect your mother. That's some standard that we should set no matter what's going on, no matter how good or how bad it is. That's what we should focus on. We really should. But yeah, after isn't only physical, because it messes with our kids mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Yes. Like I said, children don't need us to be perfect. Fellas, our kids don't need us to be perfect. They need us to be regulated. They need us to be able to govern emotions. When it gets hard, when stuff get ugly, your focus ain't to retaliate against what's going on. Your focus is to protect them. Like, come on, let's go ahead and go. Sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to walk away. But like, come on, let's go ahead and hop in the car. Let's go. Like, that protection right there means more than they seeing you, you know what I'm saying, show up and show out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to teach them that mental discipline, spiritual discipline is very necessary in order to be a man walking in this life. You have to be. You have to show them that. Like, if we're unregulated, it affects our kids. They be real anxious. They ain't patient. They rebellious. They emotionally numb. They're not going to understand how to feel love. They're not going to understand what this is because they never experienced it from parent to child. You see what I'm saying? If we never give them that love when they get older, they're not going to know how to regulate. They're not going to know how to regulate their emotions and accepting somebody that's loving them correctly. We affect so many things when it comes to our kids, no matter, contrary to unpopular beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Because the gag is that black fathers don't exist. When clearly that's not true. That's just what they push to the forefront. All you see is they see the black men not being in their kids' life like they should. So that's just what they push forward. But I know a lot of good men that's good fathers. Whether they're married, whether they're divorced, whatever. They show up for their kids no matter what. That's our thought process. That's how our mindset should be no matter what's going on. Like, the best father you can be is the best way you can confront yourself in the mirror. The only way to be the best father you can be, you have to confront yourself and look at yourself in the mirror at all your imperfections or things that you could improve on. You have to evaluate every situation unbiased, no matter what's going on, and see, like, how could I handle this better? And what example am I setting for my sons? Sometimes you gotta walk away. Sometimes you don't need to go back and forth. Sometimes you gotta let them have it, man. You ain't got time for all that. You disturbing your peace. You gotta be like water and flow. You gotta roll with the punches of life. Every action doesn't deserve a reaction. And we have to go through those thought processes as in being a father. You have to. You have to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know. You just really have to. You gotta know how to. Because your father exposes your relationship with authority, your discipline and lack of it, your emotional maturity, your unresolved wounds from your father. You have to deal with all of those things, especially the unresolved wounds from your father. You have to deal with all those things that you didn't get to do as a child, that you have to make sure that your kids experience as a child. Like, if they want to do this, I'll let them do this. I'm going to make sure I show up for them in a different way. You know, life is life. Things happen. It's okay, but it's meant to make you better. It's not to break you. It's meant to make you better. But in order for us to be a parent, we just have to understand that we got to heal ourselves. We have to understand that we have to look at everything in life unbiased, because a lot of times we feel like we're so right. But, you know, two things can be right at the same time. Two things can be wrong at the same time. So we have to be careful, because sometimes our truth isn't necessarily the truth. Everybody has their own ideology and perception of things and how words hit word associations. Everything is subjective. So you aligning yourself with God and working on yourself, that's the only way you can really give your child the full truth, unbiased truth that was going to carry them through no matter what they go through in life. It's going to jumpstart them on their faith walk. Us pointing to our kids is the best thing that we can do as a father. It's not a title, guys. This fatherhood is not a title. It's a responsibility. It's a responsibility. It's not just a title. It's not. I appreciate y'all showing love. Y'all tap the screen. Y'all tap the screen. Y'all share with a friend. Y'all come and tap in. And we have this conversation about fatherhood today. Very, very deep conversation. Very unbiased conversation. Feel free to speak. Feel free to ask questions. Whatever you guys need to do. But yo, a lot of times that we hinder ourselves from being a great father. Like I said, the more you work on yourself, the better father you will be. But if you never face yourself, how can you show it for your child if you don't love yourself? How can you teach your child discipline if you're not disciplined? How can you teach your child to trust when they can't trust you to show up? Like, it's a cause and effect here, guys. Like, man, listen. I've experienced both sides. I make sure my sons never have to go through what I went through as a child. Never. I don't care what's going on. Daddy here, you need me, you know to call me. I'm going to call and check on you every day anyway. I'm texting you, whatever. I don't care if your mama ain't talking. Hey, how they doing? You know, you got to be like that. You got to be like father. You got to push through that. You have to push through that. You can't let, no matter what's going on in your life, you cannot let that deter you from living up to your full responsibilities and capabilities as being a father. You can't let nothing get in the way of that. Nothing. Nothing. Now, if you got to go to work and make some money to provide for your kids, of course, yes, do that. Do what you need to do. But as anything else, if you're not married or you're not in a, I can't even say that, y'all, because it still has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. But you still have your responsibilities. I'll say that. You still have to show up no matter what you got going on. No matter what, you got to show up. You got to. I always showed up. No matter what was going on, I was there for them. Always. Nothing ever changed that. Like, that's what fatherhood is like, through the difficulties. Even when you're going through yourself in your own personal journey of understanding who you are as a man. Even when you're trying to get more in depth with God, get in alignment with God, you still have to do that. Because the deeper that you love yourself and the more you love God, the more you'll be able to direct them to God. And that's better than any type of form of love you can do. You giving your kids back to God? Man, listen. They say you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Hey, sometimes you might have to smack a few heads. You might have to. It's okay. I know the world is so against that, but listen, man, hey, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Either you gonna whoop them or they're gonna whoop you. I whoop my kids. Hey, I ain't finna play with you. Hey, they already know. Like, can't play with that. A lot of times, too, fatherhood is confused. Everybody has different thoughts of fatherhood. Just because we provide, don't make it sufficient for you not being there. We can't be a father by just giving money. You can't. You can't. There's no way you can just be a father by just giving money, you know, making sure the child got everything they want. Oh, I love you because I do. Well, what about the things that money can't buy? We still have to provide those and provide that emotional safe space for their child to be able to come to you and talk to you about anything they're dealing with, whether it's bullying, whether it's anything. That's why it's best you have to show up and stand up in your authority as a father, man. We definitely have to make sure we do that. Because I don't want my son to run to the streets. I don't want him to have another role model. No, I want my son to look at my dad like, hey, my dad showed up, my dad made a way out of no way. That's what the true thing is. He's showing me the right way to do things. So that's what I'm going to stick to. And if you're not there, that after calls is for, chance for anything to come in and take his distraction off of what he's not supposed to be into. That's what the streets come involved in, to be real. But, yes, provision without presence creates resentment, not security. You just giving money, you just paying your child support, and I pay my child support, I take care of my kids. But you not being there present, they still going to resent you because they're going to feel like, you just gave me some money. You ain't stunned me for real. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to be able to pour into you. They're not going to be like, hey, my daddy really love me. They're not going to look at it like that. They're going to look at it like you weren't here. It don't matter how much money you're giving, no matter what you're doing. If you're not there present with them, they're not going to take it like it's going to be okay if you're not there. They're going to recognize it for what it is. They're not going to sugarcoat it. So it's so important as a father, make sure we show up in those spaces. We have to. Because I know I've been through the ringer when it came to mine. Money can pay for comfort, and it can create opportunity. That's all it can do. It pay for comfort, whatever they need, their clothes, their shoes, it takes care of everything they need. And it creates opportunity. If they're in the sports, they're in some type of club or some type of hobby or something like that, like it'll pay for them to create an opportunity for them to get exposed to a different part of life. But that's all money does. It makes them comfortable and it gives them opportunity. That's all money does when it comes from us paying it. Yes, I know with some ups and downs in that situation. And we're going to get to that later on also. But as a father, you can't just say, oh, I pay child support, so I'm in my child's life. We can't say that. We can't. Because like I said, it's just comfort and that's just opportunities. Comfort and opportunities. You can put them in nice clothes to make them comfortable. Yeah, might pay a bill, keep the lights on, keep the house nice, warm, and toasty. Get them a nice bedroom suit, it creates opportunity also. So when it creates opportunity, like I said, you're in different clubs and stuff at the game. They can play track. Hey, how you doing? What's up there? They can play sports. Give them opportunity to expose them different parts of life, like I said. But it's not going to be there as in like a present stability. My child would be like, oh, my dad, he was there for me just by you just doing that, and that's all you do. Like you got to be present. Because kids remember present. They ain't going to remember all the money that you spent. They ain't going to be remembering all of that. You got to show up spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And be able to carry them no matter how they're feeling, no matter what they're going on. You have to be susceptible to it. You have to open up and be able to create that safe space where your kids can come to you and be like, hey, Daddy, this is what I'm going through. I talked to Mom about it, but I want to talk to you about it. Can you give me your perspective about this? That's the type of trust that I want with my boys. I want my sons to always be able to come to me and be like, hey, Daddy, look, this is what I did. I know it wasn't the best idea, but this is why I did it. I was praying for a different outcome, but did you learn your lesson? It's not the mistake you make. It's what you do after you make the mistake. How do you carry yourself? How do you go forward from that? That's the type of trust that you should want as a father with your kids. That's what's showing up in emotional space, creating a safe space for them. That's when they create that relationship. Because I know every man wants that relationship with their son. I will hope so. But yes, by just being a father to just pay child support and not there, man, it's going to teach them, like I say, it's going to be confident, create opportunity, but it's not going to teach them emotional regulation. It's not going to teach them to have integrity, morals, and values. It's not going to teach them boundaries. It's not going to teach what love is. It's not going to teach what love is without fear. It's not going to teach them how to remain focused on what's going on, no matter how crazy it is. If we're not there, we just there paying money. They're not going to be able to regulate anything. They're not going to be able to understand how to move through situations. Sometimes you can't say it. Sometimes you got to just walk away. Sometimes you got to. But as a father, man, we got to show up more than just paying child support. And the more that we do, especially nowadays, man, listen. We got to show up. The kids need it more times than ever, because how many times we've seen kids that's, just decided they don't want to do this anymore, and there's a lot of bullying going on. So, we all experience bullying coming up, but fatherhood is important that we're involved, because if we're involved, bullying never happens. Bullying never happens. If the father's going to be fully involved, bro, man, bullying never happens. Because that child is bullying got his father, and they're raising him right, not to be a bully. You see what I'm saying? But it's good fathers, and it's fathers that ain't talking about nothing. I mean, that's just what it is. But I think that as a strong person, as fatherhood, man, as a black man, we have to show up for our kids, man. We got to. That's attached to our journey and our legacy and our destiny in life. Man, God bless you with 2 sons. That's different, man. That's a different type of pressure right there, man. You're raising leaders. You're raising leaders. You're raising kings. You're raising the future architects, the future doctors, the future lawyers, the future engineers, the future, prophets of the world, the future, Like, it's no telling what God has for our kids. So, but I know we play a main part in making sure that they understand how to regulate their emotions and be themselves 100% without shrinking. And I think we're attached to their journey also, prepare them for their next level of life. That's why it's so important that fatherhood is more important than what the world may paint. It might not be popular opinion or popular belief, but, it's facts. Just being honest. That's just facts. But yeah, you create that safe space for your kids, they'll remember that safe space. They're not going to remember how much money you spent when y'all went out of town. We going to remember that safe space you set for him when he was at a rough point where he didn't know how to handle certain things. And he was able to come to you. He was able to get through a situation without even much, with a breeze. Like, okay, he'll appreciate that more than you taking him to buy him a $500 pair of shoes. I'm telling you, he'll appreciate that more. That's why I said fatherhood is very important, man. It's very important for us to be there. And I know it's not always just a green light, hey, come get your kids. No, it's always not like that. It's not. Shoot, man, I done received friction from seeing my son. Man, listen, it goes on out here. This is life. This is real life. This is life. No matter how much, no matter how much it goes on, you still have to stay locked in. You still have to stay focused. Because your kids are not looking at the situation. They see what's going on, but they're watching your response, how you're going to handle it. If you don't handle it correctly, they're going to feel like, okay, it's okay for me to handle it like that too. That's why you have to govern yourselves accordingly. Man, listen, it's been a lot of rough moments in my life being a single father, where I've had to deal with BS for no reason. Good father, being my child, like I said, they took their first, never left their side. If I wasn't around, because it was booby traps set up where I couldn't be around. And that's on God. But I still showed up for my boys no matter what. Never show anger, never show furiousness. I showed up with love and gratitude and unconditional love for my boys, despite what was going on, to take their focus off of the trash and focus on what I'm showing them. And you have to be like that. As a father, you have to be able to govern yourself like that no matter what's going on. You have to be able to be cool, like the other side of the pillar at 3 a.m., like Billy D. Williams. I'm telling you. Man, listen. That's very important. We have to show our kids that they need a solid foundation spiritually to be able to not get too high on situations, not too low on situations, to be able to govern themselves. Like I say, be vigilant and sober-minded. Don't get so caught up in the hype. Billy who? Billy D. Williams. Cooler than the other side of the pillar, and Billy D. Williams' voice, who played on Star Wars. Y'all heard about that. Y'all ain't heard about nobody saying they cooler than the other side of the pillar and Billy D. Williams at 3 in the morning? That's some old folk stuff right there. My bad, I got an old soul, y'all. Y'all don't know nothing about those mantras. Y'all don't know nothing about them monsters right there, baby. I'm telling you. All right. But yeah. Like, trying to teach our kids to be disciplined, right? If we're not being disciplined, How can we teach our kids to be disciplined? Man, that's like brain control. Do as I say and not as I do. Like, that's how we were raised, right? That's how we were raised. So that's mind control, bro. That's manipulation. That's manipulation. That's what that is. Having no relationship, like, that's crazy. When you think about that. Discipline without a relationship is control. It's mind control. If I don't have no discipline, how can I teach you discipline? If I don't know how to regulate my emotions, how can I teach you to regulate your emotions? That's blind leading the blind. Nobody's helping nobody. I'm no good to nobody. That's why it's so important to work on yourself, man. Like, that's crazy. Like, this is not something that I think. This is something that I know. This is what I figured out on my own on my journey. I wasn't, nobody teach me how to be a father. I had to figure this out. I had to figure it out. Man, I had to figure this out. For real. I had to figure it out. But I've always gave my value effort. I've always been, I did everything I was supposed to do. Always. Always. Goated. Always. Authority without connection, that produces fear-based obedience. If I'm not living that disciplined life, so how can I tell my sons to be disciplined? Man, that's fear-based obedience. And that causes your kids to be sneaky. They cause them to have that sneaky behavior. Like, okay, I can't do this when dad around, so I gotta sneak. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what authority without connection does. You can have authority, but if you ain't got no connection with your child, then what it is? That's control, bro. You trying to put your kids under mind control. What up, cuz? What up, P? Appreciate you tapping in, big dog. Conversation tonight, y'all, about fatherhood, man. Y'all tap in. Y'all share with y'all homeboys. All fellas, we need to hear this. We do. I'm going to tell the uncomfortable truth. I'm going to tell y'all what it is. It is not what I think. This is what I know. This is what I experience. This is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? You have to move a certain way. It's chess. Not checkers, baby. This is chess, not checkers. So me telling my child to be disciplined, I'm not disciplined. That's authority without connection. That produces fear-based obedience. That produces secretive behavior, internalized shame. They gon' shrink. Internalized shame. You're shrinking when you're shameful. Us being there telling our kids and we being hard on them and we don't have a relationship with them on that level to really be hard on them. That's like saying I'm your daddy, but I ain't never been in your life. How can I tell you anything? I haven't created any type of solid foundation. You have no right to trust me. You have no reason to trust me. I haven't given you anything to trust. Only thing you can see you trust is that we look alike. We might have a few similarities. And if you're not in my life, how can I sit here and say I trust you? If we're not in our kids' life, they're not going to trust us for us to give them constructive criticism and wisdom on life. They're not. They're not. They're going to be fear-based obedience. They're going to have secret behavior. They're going to be acting out. They're going to be sneaking. They ain't going to trust you. They're going to be shrinking. Because you just yelling at them just to exert dominance, not to have a relationship because you want what's best for them. You don't know them enough to know what's best for them. You're just trying to exert your dominance and create mind control over Debo. He tell me to shut up. I shut up. But when he leave, I'll be talking again. That's what that is. That's what that is. Trying to put mind control over Debo. That's what it is. That's what it is. It says, Father set the ceiling. Guys, we set the ceiling. We set how far our kids can go. We set how big they can be, how successful they can be. We set the tone for everything. That's why fathers are more important than what the world portrays. Think about it. Children unconsciously mirror what a father tolerates. They're going to mirror everything we tolerate. They're going to mirror everything we do. They're going to listen to everything that they hear. They're going to mirror everything that a father does. Man, listen, my sons watch everything I do. I can't be lacking. I can't be slacking. No, I can't. I got to show up 100% every time. If not, they're going to call me out. Especially, man, what? Right. If I don't show up like I'm supposed to, you trust to believe my oldest son going to let me know what's happening or what ain't happening. Straight YN mode, I ain't lying. Man, listen. If I ain't moving like he want me to move, man, listen. Hey, man, listen. Hey, who the daddy mill you? Who the daddy mill you? Like, that's how he do. But I love that, though. Because that means you keeping me on my toes. That means I'm going to keep you on your toes. That means you paying attention. You know what's going on. What's up, Ree? What's up, big dog? There you go, right there. TikTok live, y'all should say what's up. Say what's up to P got money 1 2 3. P getting money 1 2 3. Oh yeah, bitch, you definitely take notes. There's him on live now, y'all, on TikTok live. He just tapped in. But yeah, we set the ceiling for our kids. If we avoid our responsibility, the child is going to normalize avoidance. If we explode emotionally, we don't have no government on our emotions and how to control ourselves, the child learns instability. If we lack boundaries, the child struggles with self-control. So in order for our child to do these things, we have to mirror these things. Like, that's what it is. How can we teach responsibility if we're not responsible? How can we teach them to be emotionally intelligent if we're not emotionally intelligent? We haven't taken the time to work on ourselves to understand what emotionally intelligent men is and how do they carry themselves and how we handle things. We ain't put in that time to do that, so how can we teach them that? We have to work on it. We have to. If we don't have boundaries, we don't have morals and values, how can we raise our kids to have morals and values? How can we? It's the blind leading the blind. That's that mentality we were raised off of. Do as I say and not as I do. That's cool, but that only get you so far. You have to unlearn that and learn a new for you, especially when you got your own kids. You have to try a different way to understand these kids are different nowadays. Especially them COVID babies. Man, Drewski a COVID baby. My youngest, that's the COVID baby. Them boys made different. Them babies made different. They don't care about nothing. They don't care about nothing. They don't. All they know is what they know and what they want. But, hey, I have to jump on him sometime, too. Like I said, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. We're raising your man. You're going to be emotionally intelligent. You're going to be able to use your words. You're going to be able to articulate how you feel. You're going to be able to live your best life. I want you to live your best life, but you're going to be disciplined first. That's the tone. You got to fall in line. It's an order in the way you do stuff. Like I tell them, you have to do what you have to do in order to do what you want to do. And that's providing that structure of responsibility over recess. Responsibility over recess. You got to have your responsibilities taken care of. You got to. Fathers don't raise children. We don't. We set the environment that raises the children. That's why we set the ceiling for them. If we come in we create a peaceful, safe space and a safe environment for our kids, they're going to flourish, they're going to thrive, they're going to be able to come to you, they're going to grow, they're going to do all of that. But it's all about us setting the tone. We set the tone. We the leaders. We lead, they follow. We lead, they follow. But the thing about it is the healing part of fatherhood. That's the part that's never really talked about. The healing part. Because by unpopular belief, men, we do have feelings. The world, men, black men, we do have feelings. And by contrary, it's not always respected. But that's life. That's life. But we still have to do the work despite no matter how anybody feel about it. This part, it don't get talked about enough. So if we refuse to heal, right? If we refuse to take the walk on our journey and improve ourselves, right? If we refuse to deal with the issues that have been passed down from our fathers and our grandfathers, generational curses is what I'm speaking of, if anybody want to get straight to it. If I don't deal with the things that my father didn't deal with, I get passed down to my sons. So when you're trying to break generational curses, you have to break generational curses from the 2 or 3 generations prior to your birth. And you carrying all of that pressure to try to get on the right path to raise your kids correctly. Because you have to unlearn the way you were raised and you have to relearn the way you should raise your kids. That's what we have to do. But they inherit our pain. If I don't do what I'm supposed to do and provide a safe path for my boys going to inherit everything that I didn't do what I was supposed to do now that I'm an adult. And that goes to 3, 4 generations on their shoulders. So the generational curse thing is real. So fatherhood is very important. That's why it's important for us to be present. It's important for us to be involved 100%. If I refuse to heal, my silence and not speaking life into them, it pours into their confusion. So the more I don't speak, the less they're not going to know how to speak. Because it's going to keep adding to their confusion as they get to the next generation. When they get my age and trying to understand life and be married and have kids, they're going to cause even more fuel to the fire. I know what I've been through. I don't want them to go through half of what I've been through. I don't want them to. So it's best for me to deal with myself now as a father and show them a better healed version of myself so they can be a greater version of me. Because I want them to go past what I ever do. I want my sons to be legendary. They already are legendary. I want all my kids to be legendary. All of them. Legendary. Because they deserve it. They deserve it. If you love your kids like you're supposed to, you know they deserve it. Everybody has a drive they have about their kids to where they get up every day, go to work no matter how they feel because, hey, my son want this game, or my kids got to have this, or my kids got to have that. I want to make sure they have a comfortable life. You know what I'm saying? That's the drive. That's the love. That's the why to your what. That's what keeps you going hard. That's why it's important never to forget where you came from. Never forget the reason for why you're doing what you're doing. That's your power. That's your superpower. Your kids are your superpower. Your kids the kids keep us alive, guys. Kids keep you alive, whether you know it or not. They all get in trouble. They learning. They trying to learn life just like you are. And they following your lead. It's very important that we pour into our kids and understand. You don't have to fuss them about everything. Just have a conversation with them. You got to sit down and talk to them. Talk to them. Get a better understanding of how they feel or how they feel about it. See how they feel about the situation. Because kids have emotions too. They do. These kids are different than when we were coming up. So they're very emotionally intelligent on how they feel. So they're going to express how they feel about you. But you can't, oh, you being disrespectful. No, they're saying how they feel. They're just being honest and true. And that's how you should embrace your child being honest and true. If I say something, my child tells you, no, Dad, it's this, and this, and he's right, I'm going to apologize and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kyrie. I'm sorry, Drew. Yeah, you was right. Dad was wrong. I have no problem doing that. Because I want them to never feel like they can't make a right decision. They can never come to me and challenge me and be like, hey, Daddy, you said this, but I think it's this. I don't want my kids to ever feel scared to ever say that to me. Because I can be wrong sometimes. I'm not perfect. Man, listen, come and tell me. If I'm wrong, tell me. Daddy, you was wrong. It was this. You know, but kids gonna try to challenge you anyway, so y'all know how they go. Well, yes, if you don't heal as a man, as a father, your children, they inherit your pain. Your silence become their confusion, and then your anger becomes their inner voice. You're not healed. The only thing they're gonna remember is your anger, the part that you show them. You're not showing them peace and love, so what else you showing them? You're showing them anger. So they're gonna remember your anger as law. That's their Bible now. That's law. That's going to be their inner voice. What would my daddy say? And if you're always angry and pissed off, then what you think they're going to think? You know? This is not to judge anybody. This is not to call nobody out. This is not to step on nobody's toes. Because I'm a father, and I've been through things as a father. I've been through things with my father. Everybody's been through things with their parents. So we're not going to act like this is just a dog and pony show like everybody got perfect parents, because all our parents ain't perfect. All our parents are not perfect. But as a father, you learn from the things that you didn't experience as a child from your father, and you really take that into and applying that to how you want to raise your kids and showing up for them 100% where they never have to question how much you love them. That's what's really important. They don't remember. They don't care about the money you spend. They don't care about the designers you bought. They don't care about the purses you bought. They don't care about the trips that you took them to. They might care about the trips. That trip is memorable. But they're going to worry about how much you showed up for them, not about how much money you spent on them. Breaking cycles isn't poetic, it's work. As a father, when you're dealing with generational curses from your past, from your parents, and you're trying to raise your kids, it's work. It's not rainbows and unicorns, because you have to deal with yourself. By contrary belief, you learn something that's different than what you were taught, and it is really true, and you really don't want to accept it. How do you feel about that? Everything you've been taught, maybe it's a lie, maybe it's not. Or maybe it's not valid at this point in your life now that you have kids. Are you going to be able to take accountability and swallow your ego and your pride and be like, dang, well, that makes sense. That's right. That's true. I'm sorry. I apologize. Are you going to be able to do that as a parent, as a father? Kids pay attention to things like that more than anything else. Y'all tap the screen. Y'all share with a friend. Y'all tap in. All fathers need to hear this. Straight up. On God. One thing about it is, yes, if you're not healed, you're not going to break cycles. You're not. You're going to really cause more cycles. You're going to add more to it. But a healed father, it doesn't just raise a better child. It really heals lineage. It changes lineage. You're breaking generational curses when you work on yourself being a great father. You exceeding what was set for you. The mark was set for you. You didn't blew that out the water. It's not even much. It's non-negotiable. You don't even know who set that mark. That mark gone. You see what I'm saying? So when you do that as a father, you're setting legacy. You're setting lineage. You set your kids up for success. So you're correcting the things that your parents didn't do, and you're setting legacy in order to set better ways and better habits of communication and better habits of handling situations. You know what I'm saying? No narcissism. Like, you're breaking curses like that. You're breaking loops. You're breaking chains. That's why it's so important. It don't matter about how you living. Only thing should matter is your child having a smile on their face. I promise you, yes. You want your peace, you want your happiness. But sometimes you got to go through some things in order to make sure your kid's okay. And as a father, as a single father, or 2 kids, you got to go through stuff. You're going to go through it. You are. But all that is a lesson to God to show you that, hey, I appreciate the effort that you put in. You never let nothing stop you from being there and showing up. No matter if you got the money or not, you still there. They see you. They touch you. They kiss you. They hug you. That means more than any type of way you can swipe your debit card to buy them whatever they want in life. As a father, that means more than anything. It's crazy, man. Like, every child deserves a father who's willing to become a better one than he was given. If you had that drive to want to be a better father than the one you had, the one that God blessed you with, man, listen, you got great things coming to you. Keep pushing forward, bro. As a man, your destiny is tied to being a father, bro. People look down on it, but father is not just a title, bro. That's a responsibility. You know how many people wish they could have kids and be a father, but they can't have any kids and they can't be a father? Some people can't. Some people can't have children. So appreciate your kids and love your kids correctly. Pour into them. Let them grow. Let them make mistakes. Because you made mistakes. And you know how your parents was on your top when you made mistakes. It's a healthier way to be on your kids' top. Just have a communication line. Have an always open communication line 24/7, 365 with your kids. They come talk to you about anything, no matter how good it is, how bad it is. I'm not going to judge. I'm going to answer unbiased. I'm going to answer because I understand where you are. I understand what you're going through. I've been there. So I'm not going to come in, why you always doing stupid stuff? I ain't coming in like that. I'm going to let him say everything he has to say to understand how he feels and his thought process on why he made that decision. And we're going to talk about it. That's how you show up emotionally, spiritually, mentally for your child. Some things they may not understand. They feel like, oh, okay, well, this is the way I thought I was supposed to do it, like this. They don't know. They learn life just like you're still learning. They're trying to get through things that's in their way, just like you're trying to get through roadblocks in your way. That's how it is, though. That's definitely how it is. So, co-parenting becomes easy when you're a healed father, too, though. Co-parenting becomes easy. Co-parenting really becomes easy. When you're a healed father, it becomes easy. Reason I'm saying that. Not governing their feelings and how they react and their emotions to whether the situation is how it broke down and you and the child's mother isn't together. It's all about how you govern yourself. You can't worry about what they do, but you got to stay locked in. You got to be at peace and being did enough work at yourself and to work on yourself that even when things get bad, you keep your cool. You be like a duck in the rain and level up until you sweat. No matter what it is. No matter what. Be like a duck in the rain, man. Let that shit roll off your back. You got to keep going. You don't have time to entertain that. You don't. You really don't. When you awaken as a parent and want to try to heal yourself, that doesn't erase the conflict that's going on between, if it's a little beef between you and the child's parent. That don't erase the beef just because you're awakened. It don't. That means that you awaken and you see what it is. What's up, Anna? You awaken and you see what it is. Appreciate that book. You awaken and you see what it is, and now you know better, because when you know better, you do better, right? When you know better, you move better. You understand this is chess, this ain't checkers. It's not checkers. This is chess. Man, everything that you do, every decision you make has a positive and negative connotation that can affect your relationship from seeing your child. Some situations you just got to make any way around it. You can't walk on eggshells. You have to stand on your authority. Like I say, conflict is not bad. Conflict is needed, because that's how you understand. You let people know these are my boundaries. Don't play with me. On my mama game. Don't play with me. On my mama game. But you got to set those boundaries, man. You got to set those boundaries. You do. You can't let nobody play with you, because if you let them play with you, they're going to keep on trying to play with you. You have to set them boundaries. You have to. That's very important. Because a healed father, you don't debate, you're going to document. You're going to be like, all right, remember that. Look at where she at. Yeah, I'm documenting. You ain't finna act. You regulate, you don't relax. You don't react, you regulate. So you're regulating your emotions and you don't react to it. Good fathers don't document. I mean, we document, we don't debate. I ain't finna debate with you. I got it in a text message. If we got to take that shit to trial, we taking it to trial. On God. I promise you, bro, I ain't finna argue with you. What Future said, solid, I just keep it cool with you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the rest of the verse. At least I ain't going back and forth like Batman. I'm gonna tell you that much. We ain't doing it. But yeah, we document, we don't debate. We regulate our emotions, but we don't have to react to the foolishness and ignorance. Proactive versus reactive. Right, boo. Right. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. You sow consistency and not explanations. You don't let nothing that happens with the mother or your child get away from you being a father. So you showing up consistently with no explanations. Yeah, you on child support, okay, but you still making sure that he got a helmet and got some cleats and got everything else. Yeah, you paying child support, but you still make sure he got a good Christmas at your house. Yeah, you on child support, yeah, but your parent, y'all ain't together no more, but hey, but you still make sure that you show up for him whenever he needs you or asks you for something. You make sure you deliver. You make sure you're there for him. Breakfast dinner. You know, they have like a school breakfast dinner. You showing up, you taking off, you making sure you make that extra effort. That's more important than anything else you can ever do for your child. Go up there during the day, just take off work and just go and sit there and eat lunch with your child and talk to him, interact with him and his friends. That means more than anything. I don't get to do it that often, but shoot, when I do it, I do it. It's a beautiful thing though. Like that's what being a healed father is all about. The children eventually see the truth through pattern, not narrative. As long as you keep up doing what you're supposed to do, your child is going to see what's going on. You ain't got to explain that to them. You're not supposed to put a child in grown folk business anyway. Your actions and your consistency is going to show what's what. It's going to show who's who. Like I said, the lie ain't going to stand. The truth going to stand. The lie going to fall to the wayside. So you ain't got to explain yourself. All you got to do is show up. Even if he know what's going on, just show up. Miss Henson, what you said? Oh, snap. I didn't mean to do that. My bad, y'all. Most men think child support covers it all, so they feel like they shouldn't have to do more if they're paying child support. Yeah, that's true. I can't deny that. Miss Henson on Facebook said most men think child support covers it all, and they feel they have to do nothing else but child support. Child support don't make up for time spent. No, it does not. Child support doesn't. Man, listen, I pay child support for my boys, and I still make sure I show up every point and way for them. I have to. Because I know that I can't let the circumstance of whether I deserve to be on it or not, I can't let that dictate my relationship with my sons. I can't. No. All they gonna know is their daddy was the GOAT. That's all I want them to say. Bury me in Gucci. Yeah. Hey, ain't no nursing home, baby. Ain't no nursing home, baby. Ain't no nursing home around here. Yeah. But yeah, we have to show consistency and no explanations. A lot of times, us as parents, we let the situation get in the way of the child. It's all about the child. We let our emotions get in the way. If it didn't work, okay, move on, heal. That's for both sides. But as a father, man, you cannot let that stop you from seeing your child. It's been times where I've had to walk away, take a step back for a few days, and then come back and try it again. If you have to do that, do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Let the situation die down, then come back, and then be here for your child. You have to have that. You have to. Man, listen. I understand. I'm not speaking on nothing I don't know. I'm telling y'all something that I live. This is my life. I live this. Like, co-parenting is co-parenting. You might be on an innocent, really just focused on the child. The other person might not. But how are you going to govern it? How are you going to handle that? How are you going to respond to that? How are you? How are you going to respond to that? You can't let your relationship, because you thought it was going to last and it didn't work, now affect your child. It's all about your child now. That's selfish. Get out the way. It's about the child now. I mean, your time is over with. Let's go our separate ways. That's what it is. Like, listen. Ain't no point of being like that. The bitterness of a situation where, and this might represent folk fellas, but I don't care. By dealing in a situation with father with having a bitter woman, having someone who's bitter, it doesn't cancel fatherhood, it tests it. Everybody's experience with co-parenting isn't the same. What's up, twin? Where you been? But yeah, they don't cancel fatherhood, it tests it though. It tests it. Bitterness tests the fatherhood because it's really needs to be said plainly. This is what it is. It restricts access. It poisons the perception of your child of you. It creates loyalty conflicts and undermines authority. That's all it is. Because think about it. When you're dealing with a bitter woman, when you experiencing fatherhood, you trying to show up and she's, you know what I'm saying, declining access for you to see the child, that's bitterness. If they talking about the child, poised perception. If they're trying to talk about the child, about you, and dog you out, poised perception. And why they doing that, that's creating loyalty conflicts, because now he feels like he has to choose between who he's going to be loyal to, his mama or his daddy. You see what I'm saying? When he doesn't have to choose, he can love both of us equally, be loyal to both. You are part of both of us. Like, it's a lot of situations that happen that involves all of this. I mean, you can be blind to it or you can't be. And it undermines the authority. If your dad trying to raise you one way and your mom saying, you ain't got to listen to nothing he say, undermining the authority. That's what that is. That right there is never good. That's a recipe for disaster 100% of the time. 100% of the time. 100%. So bitterness, it doesn't cancel fatherhood, but it tests it. It tests how much you love your kids, how much you love being a father. What are you willing to go through for your kids? What are you willing to walk through? And that's also asks you that same question when you're trying to be a better parent, because a healed parent is the best parent in the world. When you're a healed parent, your children see the fullness of you. They don't just see you as daddy. They see you as, oh, my daddy like that too. Oh, we enjoy doing this together. We like doing this together. That's what a healed parent shows. I've been plenty of times, man, me and my son sit up playing Fortnite for 2 or 3 hours, going back and forth, drinking Capri Suns. Man, listen. No other better feeling than that. There's no other better feeling than that. It's not. It's not. Yes, the bitterness tests. It tests your fatherhood, but it doesn't erase it. It cannot erase the present if the father remains consistent, bro. If we stay consistent in us seeing our children, we stay consistent in being in our kids' life no matter what's going on, they can't erase. I mean, you can't. I'm going to use myself for example. It don't matter what's happening, what's going on, no matter what nobody say, no matter if I get my sons kept me for the next 3 years. I've been in my son's life since they took their first breath. You can't erase that. No matter what you do, you can't erase the connection I had with them. I made with them since they were birth. Ain't no way. What you said, twin? Ape said they put the man on CS and they expect more. If he taking care of the child, why put him on CS? They don't understand that they can get way more without it. They just compromise. That's facts. Don't come for me, or either I'm speaking on bitter. I can debate with you all day about it. Right, twin? That's true. That is true. Yes. I understand. Yes. Because that's how I look at it. You'll do way more for your children if you went on child support. You'll do way more for your kids. You'll do way more. You have to govern it, though, because you still have to live. You still have to provide for them on your end, too. So you have to kind of govern it a little bit. But a lot of times they handle themselves. You right about that, twin. Yeah, you right about that, A. That is true. I was told you get more honey with you get more bees with honey than salt. I think that's what they said. I think that's what they said. Don't quote me on that, child. You get more bees with honey than salt. Oh God. But yeah, what breaks the children during this point of time isn't the tension, it's the instability. The instability of you not being consistent with them. Oh, TikTok, what you doing? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so what breaks the children isn't the tension of the situation between both parents. It isn't the tension. You get more honey with bees than vinegar. Vinegar, salt, man, I don't know. You know what I mean? Hey, but that's right though. You get more sugar, you get more honey with whatever, man. I can't get it out. You get more bees with honey than vinegar. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that right there. But yeah, like it breaks the kids because not the tension between you and the parent is the inconsistency, the instability of them seeing you because they love you. That's what hurts them more than anything. That's what hurt them, for real, for real. When the children see you show up on time, no matter what's going on, you stay calm. You never badmouth their mom. You never ask what they got going on in the house. You never question them about none of that. And you maintain your standards and how you going to operate despite what's said about you or what's done to you. That's when you know. That's when the kids pay attention to, okay, Dad has been the same through this whole situation. It hasn't changed. You ain't got to say nothing. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Your presence. You showing up. You showing up. You showing up as a father means more than anything else. We are the anchor. We are the head. We are the leaders. We have to show up. We have to make sure that we maintain ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally to make sure we are there to keep them covered. Because love covers a multitude. You have to have that unconditional love with your kids. You have to. You have to show up in any way, many ways. You got to. No matter what's going on. They need you, you better show up. The back saying, what you going to do? Go back to sleep? You got to get up and move around. But yeah, when the child see you show up on time, still you stay calm. You don't badmouth their mama. You don't ask what they got going on. You maintain your standards and your morals and values despite what's going on. I mean, after a while, they're not going to see it. They're not going to see it right off the bat. Some may not. But over time, the contrast is going to be undeniable. They're not going to be able to be fooled by it. They're going to be like, man, listen, my dad never changed. He's still been doing this. He's still been doing that. He's never changed behind this. So that's, that's the thought process to have when you're going through something with a bitter woman. No, I'm not saying all women are bitter. I'm not saying that. But there are some bitter women out there that makes it hard on the fathers. The good fathers go through the most. The deadbeats get away with highway murder. Y'all hit F1. I'm sorry, y'all. Hit F1. They get away with a crime. But yeah, this mindset and this process is a long term. It's a long term process. It's not a short term process as a father. This is a long term process. Just stop by to show support. I appreciate that, Glow Coach. Appreciate that, Big Dog. Appreciate you tapping in. G7 in the building. Okay, appreciate it. Glow Coach. Tosha. Parents have to learn how to take care of their personal emotions out of it. Yes, that is so true. We as parents have to understand we have to govern our emotions. The more we work on ourselves, the more we'll be able to show up for our kids in an unbiased way. A healed parent makes your children glow and grow. Since I've been on this walk, me being on this journey, I can see a total difference in my kids. They've grown so much. Man, listen, my kids glow. They're growing. They're happy. They're being themselves 100%. I can see a difference in it with my journey. So that's just how much fatherhood affects the child, whether it's a girl, whether it's a boy, no matter what. It's your children or your children. And you showing up in a major way is always important, whether it's a boy or girl. It means more than how much money you spend. It means more for you to have that conversation of, hey, how was school today? How was school today? That goes a long way. How you feeling today? What your grades looking like? They don't want to hear that conversation. But normally they'll tell you, what their grades looking like. They got good grades. But just being able to check on them, I love you and I miss you. You saying that to them, that goes a long way. I let my sons know it's okay to tell me that they love me. I'm their dad, they supposed to love me. I tell my sons I love them. I kiss my sons on the forehead. It's okay to show your kids that you love them. Yes, generational cycle, you being infected can infect your kids. Yes, if you're not willing to work on yourself, you're not going to line up with God. You're not going to be one with God, and that keeps your kids covered in a multitude of ways. When you're in alignment with God and you're flowing in your furthest of peace and you're full of joy and you're full of love, your kids can feel that, and it pushes your kids to be able to do whatever they want to do. It pushes your kids so they can do anything they want to do. That's the impact we have on our kids. We motivate them to do better, to go above and beyond. When they see you stepping outside of the box and you use your imagination to accomplish things, shoot, we just doing this podcast inspiration to my kids, especially my boys. They think it's cool. They be like, oh, my dad is cool, man. They ain't gonna let me know that, but you know how I go. Y'all know how the kids. They be trying to throw shade on the low. You know what I'm saying? They be trying to hate on the low. But you know how that go. So, as black fathers, we gotta understand. Like I said, we've been raised that we got two strikes against us. We black and we a man, right? So we already been judged before we was even much observed. This is a systematic reality. Like, this is how the system's set up for black men. And we have to understand that we have to move accordingly to that. We carry a historical narrative of absence. Despite, like I said, against popular beliefs. The portrayal that what they try to show us as and depict us as is that we have a historical narrative of absence. We have media stereotypes, legal system bias, like child support court. No matter what you do, you still gonna get the book thrown at you because you're a black man on child support. That's just how it goes. That's just how fatherhood goes. That's just the world that we live in. Cultural mistrust through the systematic systems of how everything goes and how the depiction is when you have a child and you trying to be a good father. Some women are programmed to think that, man, he ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna show up for his kid like he's supposed to because they're not used to nobody showing up for them when they was a child. So that's daddy issues. So they're gonna do anything they can to affect the way you show up for your son or show up for your daughter because they're gonna be jealous. They're gonna feel like, why you don't love me like you love them? You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's what happens. So it's important for everybody to love their self. You have to heal yourself from your mommy and daddy issues. It's nobody else's job to do so. You have to take accountability. What you said, hey, she said exactly. What you give your child is what they will take. If life, it's like a book bag to life. If you're damaged and dealing with trauma, you're packing it into your kids. Stay woke. Facts. If you're packing up anger and you're packing up insecurities, you're packing up a lot of trauma that you've dealt with, you're not trying to deal with it, your kids are going to feed off of that. You think you're showing up for your kids, but you're not. Like I told you, when I was going through my son, when he was 5 or 6, Daddy, you okay? It don't seem like it. It don't feel like it. You telling me, hey, I need you to get it together. We finna have some fun. Finna play with Ninja Turtles and Paw Patrol. Hey, he wasn't having none of that. He wasn't. He wasn't having it. He was like, we need to get this together, big dog. He was not. But that's how they paint us, though. They depict us as that. Like I said, historical narrative of absence, media stereotypes. What else we go through? The legal system biases, cultural mistrust. So yes, black fathers are often assumed to be failing until proven otherwise. As a black man doing the bare minimum is still scrutinized. A black man doing the right thing is often questioned, doubted, and minimized. So that says it right there. the deadbeat fathers are living up to their expectations, so they're not even much caring about that. They living up to their expectations, so of course everybody's gonna dial them and say black men don't show up like they're supposed to for their kids. But the men that do show up, like I said, we question, doubted, and scrutinized. We were made to shrink because they feel like, oh, all y'all just alike. They try to make us shrink. And a lot of times, some women are intimidated by that. How much you show up for them, for your child, because they don't ever receive that. That's daddy issues. Daddy issues. What it said, this doesn't mean stop showing up. It means understand the terrain. When you experience this tension between and everything trying to slight you, everything you try to do for your child, don't stop showing up. Just understand the type of terrain you're dealing with. Plan. Like I said, this is chess. This is not checkers. You got to plan. You got to move strategic. You got to move strategic. Great live. I always try to join back, but I'm at work. I appreciate that, Glow Coach. Appreciate the love and the support. What you said, Meech, because the glory negative stereotypes it because it comes to the black community. Yes. They glorify the negative stereotypes when it comes to the black community. Yes, that is so true. As a black father, we already got two, like I said. We're black and we're a man. That's 2 strikes. Then also, they said the statistics show that historically black men have never been their kids. Like, that's not true. My dad was still in my life when my mom got divorced, so I can't say my dad wasn't there. But society has shown that, the people, it's good and bad in everything. Good is having evil. You got people that can show up, you got people that's not going to show up, no matter what race it is. But it's important for us to show up, to provide spiritually, mentally, and emotional stability for our kids as a father. Because we have the key. We're the gateway and the bridge to get to that promised land for our kids. We set the standard. What we teach them now is what they're going to project out into the world later. So it's so important for us to show up. It's so important that we do show up. It's very important. Okay, so it says, what I said, okay. Presence as a black father is a radical act, especially with sons. It's very radical. And the reason I say it's radical is because your kids watch how you handle disrespect. Your sons watch how you handle your anger. Your sons watch how you navigate through unfair systems and obstacles in your life. How you treat their mother without self-erasure. How you treat their mama without you shrinking in your personality, not being yourself. How do you treat their mama? How do you respond to her? That's why it's so important. You have adult conversations. Don't have adult conversations with kids around. You guys have a conversation. You guys handle your problems separately. When y'all kid are present, y'all need to focus on the child and nothing else. Nothing else. Put the rest of it on the back burner. Put it back in the warehouse. Y'all can talk about it on another day. That's what it's all about. Because yes, when you're a black father, you have 2 sons. They're watching how you handle disrespect. They're watching how you regulate your anger, how you curate yourself, how you have a peace and a love about yourself. You won't let nobody take you out of your aura. How you do that. How you navigate through unfair situations when they know that their mother keeping them from you, but you still showing up, you still navigating through the rough terrain. You're teaching them when you do this, no matter what the situation is, no matter what it looks like when you're showing up for them. No matter how you feel it look like, whether you make you feel like you okay or make you feel like you look weak or whatever you feel like. This is how they're going to view it. This is how your sons and your kids are going to view situations like this. They're going to you're showing them manhood without dominance. You don't have to exert dominance to show manhood. You don't have to you're showing them strength without violence. You don't have to be violent. You regulate your emotions even though you're getting done wrong. You don't have to respond. Every action doesn't have to deserve a reaction. Sometimes you got to walk away. And then you're showing them discipline without fear. Those are things you're showing them when you're showing up, when you're navigating and you handling your disrespect, your anger, unfair systems, and you're not shrinking when it comes to telling her, standing on business about your child and your thought process and your morals and values when it comes to your kids and you being involved in their life. When you're showing up for them 100% in that manner, you're showing them how to be a man without having to be domineering. You got to exert your dominance to be a man. You're showing them strength without violence. I don't have to exert strength by violence and picking up a gun. You know what I'm saying? I can show strength without that. And I'm showing discipline without fear. I can stand in the face of fear and everything that's going on, and I can be disciplined, not let it get me out of my character. That's what they're exerting. This is not soft. A lot of people feel, oh, that's soft. That's soft. No, that's rare. That's being real. Because you're setting the example. You're setting the example. You're setting the example. Remember, one small decision can set your life ahead 5 years. Think about it. Some situations we just walked away. Wonder what it would have been like, right? Every decision has a positive connotation to it. It can affect you along the road. You never know. So it's always best to put your best foot forward in every situation. Handle it the best way. Keep your head up, chest out. Sometimes you got to take some shit on the chin. Sometimes you got to. Sometimes you got to have a strong chin. You got to roll with the punches. Hey, that's what it is. One thing as black fathers that we need to stop doing, we don't need to internalize a narrative that was never ours. Just because those guys, might be a few guys you know that don't do what they're supposed to do, but don't let that be your identity. We're not raising YNs, we're raising black kings. Right. Fact, Meech. That's true. Yes. That's true. Yes. Black kings, not YNs. We raising black kings. Yeah. Because sometimes as a real man, you have to understand, sometimes you got to know when to take it on the chin and keep going. Because a good stand be a good run will be the best thing any day. Sometimes you got to understand, you got to get home with your kids every night. Sometimes your kids got to understand that sometimes daddy is not going to look like it's supposed to look. But it's okay though. You stand tall. God got you. Let him fight your battles. That's where the alignment comes in. You ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. Who you got something to prove to? Only thing you got something to prove to your person you was the day before to make sure you show up for your kids better today. That's what it's all about. But I really think that people get as confused as fatherhood is not just a title. Bro, that's a responsibility. The house is on our shoulders. It's up to you to break generational curses. It's up for you to set legacy and lineage for your sons and your daughters. When you walking through this life to prepare them for when they get older, they don't have to work out the mud because you already got out the mud. So they can eat it out the garden. They can sit in the house and eat buns and crepes and drink tea. I got you, Victoria. Drop your phone, Lord. Okay, I got you. I'll follow you back. But yeah, that's crazy though. That's crazy how that goes. You got to really understand that you have to be able to govern your pain in order to show your son that pain creates elevation. You learn through the painful situation that, okay, I know how to handle this situation now. You won't catch me slipping again. That means you learned. That's growth. That's elevation. That's transformation. When you understand how much it is, how much expensive your energy is, you won't give it to everybody. You won't. If you understand how expensive your energy is, I'm sorry, y'all, you will not give it out so easily. You'll guard it. We said guard your heart. God said that, guard your heart. One thing about a healed father, guys, with fatherhood, a healed father, we protect the child's inner world. Even when co-parenting is different, we protect them internally, their inner world, their imagination, all of that stuff. We protect it. And what that means is we never make our kids choose sides. Never make them choose sides between you and their mom. Never make them choose sides. You let them love their mom. If they want to stay with their mom that weekend, let them stay. It's okay. You allow them to stay. If they want to stay with their mom, let them, hey, go ahead. Hey, I'm not mad about that. You love your mom. I would expect you to act like that. I get it. That don't mean you love them more than you love me, but I understand. That's part of it. You'll never make them choose a side. You never put your kids in grown folk business, and that's one thing that I can't stand. A baby mama that put baby mama or a baby dad or a man or father, whoever, put their kids in their business. I can't stand that. I've experienced that before. That's so toxic, bro. That's so toxic. That's so lame. They're toxic and lame for real, though. Like, putting your kids in grown folk business is crazy. A healed parent is not going to put them, a healed parent is not going to make them choose sides in fatherhood. You're not going to play them against each other. You're not going to bring them in grown folk business, whatever you and their mom got going on. You let them love both their parents freely. Like I said, you want to pick up your kids and they want to stay at home, then let them stay at home. It's all you got your free weekend, big dog. Hey, take advantage of it, baby. Take advantage. You're supposed to let them love both parents freely, though. You're supposed to be their emotional anchor. Teach them emotional intelligence. Don't just take them in a storm. Like, no, you teach them emotional intelligence where you prevent them from ever going in that storm that you're going through. That's why you're supposed to teach your kids how to flow, how to move. They have to be like water. They have to govern their emotions. You have to. Because if you don't, man, your kids going to be loose cannons out here, man. And they miss out on a lot of life by speaking too fast. Can't have your kids out here being deregulated. You can't have them out here looking like that. But you be able to provide those three things. Like I said, that's going to, these four things, providing those four things for them, that's going to put them in a better position to be able to govern their emotions. They'll be able to understand that, hey, my daddy loves me, I don't care what's going on. He's always showing up. I see how daddy handles this. When I get older, I know how to handle it. I have to govern my emotions and be emotionally intelligent where I can handle hard and difficult situations in life. And that comes from having a spiritual foundation that's solid. Fathers, it's up for us to work on ourselves. A healed parent generates best results when it comes to their kids in all levels. So deal with yourself. Get out of your own way. Deal with your own ego. Because that ego don't matter when it comes to your kids. It don't. We got to show up 100%. No cap. Have to show up. And this is one thing. This is the quiet truth about fatherhood, that a lot of people, they shun and they kind of cover it up, or they try to not to acknowledge it. But this is what it is. Like, you know, many black men are present fathers. They just don't broadcast it. It's not shown that much. It just don't fit the loud stereotype that the narrative has been pushed throughout the country and everything. It is black fathers that show up. I know a lot of good men that show up for their kids. Ain't no trophies for being real. We don't expect trophies. We go to work, we pick up our kids, we teach them discipline, we show a little quietly, we carry the weight without those applause. Show up every day. I'm not expecting applause. I just want to make sure they got a smile on their face. That's my biggest applause, to see my boys with a smile on their face. That's what it does. That's the reward for being real, being a good father. You see that smile on their face. They love, that unconditional love, they show the unconditional love they give you. That's the reward. Like I said, ain't no trophies for being real now. Shoot, fatherhood ain't even, Father's Day ain't even celebrated like this. So that lets you know what time it is. To be real. Pay attention, fellas. Lock in. Celebrate yourself. Love yourself. Pour into yourself. Show it for your kids in every way, whether they believe it or not. Whether they show you support or tell you thank you for being there, or making it easy for them and talking to y'all son and make sure they on track, make sure they not disrespect their mama. If they don't give you no award for that, don't expect one. The reward is making sure your son, seeing how far he's progressing in life and what he's doing and how he's excelling. Is he a straight A student? Is he a respectful kid? If you've seen that translate through your kids, bro, sit back, kick your feet up. You did good. Good job. Keep them on that path. Yes, keep them on that path. That's one thing that we have to understand, that there's no reward for being real. There's no reward for being real. It's not. It's not. One thing we do have to realize also, though, is as a father, when you know you on your shit, when you doing what you're supposed to do, you're not finna argue with no narratives. You're gonna let that lie stand, because you're gonna outlive them anyway. No matter what nobody say, oh, he don't do this, or he don't do that, or they can say what they want to say, but you show up every way, form, and fashion. But they want to have that image of they're a strong woman. They got to figure it out by themselves. Then let them. Let them, fellas. Let them. Let them. Let them. Because at the end of the day, you're going to outlive that narrative anyway. All you got to just keep doing what you're supposed to do and stay locked in. Stay locked in. 10 toes down in it. Yes. You don't have to worry about that, man. You don't. You do not have to worry about that. You know, people gonna say what they want to say, no matter how you feel. But you still show up and do your thing. They can't deny it because the proof is in the pudding. You showing up every day, no matter what nobody say. You showing up no matter what nobody say. Man, what? And I don't care if they talk to somebody or not. I'll check them about my son. I don't care nothing about it. What? These mine. You worry about her. I got these. Oh, God. Yes. I don't need nobody stepping in being the father for me or be a replacement for me. Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I don't need nobody stepping in for me. I'm good. I don't need no assistance in being the father. I don't. I'm good. Like, yeah. No. It's a respect thing. It's a respect thing, fellas. You stand on business about your kids no matter what's going on. I don't care who it is or who they mama married to or who they talk. You stand on business about your kids. Because if you love your kids, you want the best for your kids. And you're going to show up in every way. And you ain't going to let nobody cross the boundaries with you. Hey, get too much dip on your chip, big dog. Worry about you. Don't worry about them. Hey, that's how it go. Hey, too much dip on your chip, big homie. You worry about the wrong thing, big dog. Worry about the wrong thing. But yeah, as a healed black father, we don't argue with narratives. We outlive them. Your sons don't need you to be understood by the world. Our kids don't need us to be understood by the world. They need you to be stable in a world that won't be. They don't need you to be understood by the world. They need you to stand and be stable in a world that's not understanding. You don't understand why some things happen in this world. You don't know. But you still, one thing, you got to still have a solid foundation with God in order to set a solid foundation for your kids. So they can walk that path. If you're not setting that standard for them, then what are we doing? It's so much future that rides on our shoulders as fatherhood, as setting our kids ahead so many years by the work we put in and on ourselves and pouring it into them and giving them the wisdom that they need so they won't make the same mistakes we did. We control the traffic, fathers. We really control the traffic. I don't care what nobody said, no matter what narrative somebody paint about, oh, I can raise a man. No, you can't. You can't. Just like if I had a daughter, I can't raise a daughter by myself. She's going to need her mother to give her that woman's intuition and that woman's guidance and that wisdom. Teach her a woman's wisdom through feminine energy. I can't teach her that. But I can teach my son how to be emotionally intelligent with logic and lining up with God and understanding that he has to also love himself and be the best version of himself every day. And the rules are different when you're a black man being a father. The rules are different. The rules are different when you're a black man, period, in this world. So you have to move accordingly. You have to. You can break those stigmatisms. You can break that lineage, that trail and that loop. You can break all of that. That's when you break generational curses. That's why it's so important that we work on ourselves every day. Do things that's going to elevate you spiritually. Do things that's just going to push you to that next level to be the very best version of yourself. If it's one thing that's in your way from being the very best version of yourself, and you know what, remove that. Life too short. We ain't got time to waste time. Let's go. Let's get it. Fellas, this one for y'all. This one for us. Let's stand up in these spaces. Let's stand up. We have to. Because if we not standing up, ain't nobody gonna believe in us. We set the tone. We control the traffic. That's why we're so important. No matter, even if it's beyond popular belief, we're really important to our kids' future. Whether they're boy or girl, we're very important to their future. We are. Man, I went down a wormhole about this. I've been really thinking about this for the past few weeks about fatherhood. I've been thinking about this because this topic has been in the chamber. I just ain't, I ain't emptied the clip on it yet. I was letting it marinate a little bit in the background, download, hide it in the background, let it download a little bit, let it ferment, let it marinate, But this is a really, really good, deep topic that us fellas need to hear because nobody's advocating for us. But if everybody's scared to do it, I'll be the one to do it. I'll stand out front and advocate for us, fellas. The good fathers out here just actually showing up. They don't get their recognition and their flowers. I'm giving it to y'all right now. Salute you, my guys. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. We control the traffic on God. When we healed, we don't just raise our kids who grow. We raise them who glow without shame. We teach them and allow them to be themselves 100%. We don't tell them to shrink their personality. We let them be them. We let them figure themselves out. You never teach your child to shrink. You let your child live up to their full potential. They have a big personality. Embrace their big personality. Anything less than that will be detrimental to the rest of their life. You don't think it's okay to shrink. You have to shrink. You have to people please. Everybody's not going to like you. I explained it to my son as he approaches middle school. Guys, let's look at it specifically for men with co-parenting with high conflict. Like I was just talking about. When you're in a situation where your child is being kept from you, everything is going on, you're trying to show up and everything is stopping you from being them. This is a direct message, because I've been through this. So, when you're going through a high conflict area, you still got to show up carrying that weight. 100%. We have to show up carrying that weight. We have to show up. It's hard. It's rough. It's ugly. It's nasty. But we have to show up. No matter if you feel like it. No matter if you're not even feeling your best. You still got to show up. This is how much our future is on our shoulders. We have to break generational curses. We have to show up in ways that we've never shown up before. We have to. Us loving our kids, they allow them to grow through life and glow up without shame. No matter what the circumstances look like, no matter what's against their wall, no matter what's going on at home, no matter how odds and how many things to happen to make you guys feel like, man, this ain't gonna work. You still gotta show up. Give yourself grace. Still show up for your kids, no matter what happens, no matter what nobody say. Still show up. The only opinion that matters is that child's opinion that matters. That's all that matters. That's all that ever matters. One thing about it, when your child seeing you work on yourself, because kids pay attention to energy, y'all. Kids pay attention to energy. When you see your children showing up and they're growing, take a stop and look at yourself. Understand that you're showing them how to grow by you growing, showing yourself how to grow. You dealing with yourself, they're going to deal with themselves. Like they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You got to find the formula that works for you and your journey. You have to find that formula. You have to. Because if you're not willing to find that formula, you're not going to make any progress. Your children's a why. They're your why to why you're going so hard. They're your why to your what. They're a why to your what. Your children see you when you compromise, even when it's not the best look. You coming even when it's inconvenient. You making that extra step. You choosing growth instead of bitterness. When they see things happen, toxic situations and toxicity moments, when they see that and you handle yourself and you govern your emotions correctly, then that's when they really sit back and they look at it and they be like, okay. Kids pay attention to that. They watch you taking your responsibilities, you breaking your cycles, and you modeling self-work. They see you doing all these things. Even if you don't think they're paying to your kitchen, your children sees everything. They study you. They study you from when they take their first breath. So you doing the work and you putting in and you working on yourself and you're taking those extra steps. That's what they're doing. They're going to pay attention to that. They're going to absorb that and they're going to know how they need to move. That's why I say kids are very responsible. They watch everything we do. So when our kids are not doing what they're supposed to, we have to look at ourselves and see, dang, what did I do to show them that this is okay? You know? And sometimes it's not you, just bad habits they pick up because they at school, they friends, et cetera, et cetera. You being on your walk, fellas, it teaches your kids that growth is masculine, especially when you have a son. When you have sons, your sons are watching you. how you handle fatherhood, and you're going to set them up where they know how to handle fatherhood. So they're going to show that you putting in work and growth is masculine. My dad a veteran, so that's masculine. Accountability is strength. My dad take accountability for everything he do, everything he did not do correctly. And you didn't let the pain that they saw that was inflicted on you harden you from still showing up for them, showing them love unconditionally. Kids pay attention to all of that. That's legacy work. That's when you breaking cycles and breaking generational curses, and you setting up legacy and lineage for your kids, where they don't have to struggle through the things you went through, or what your family went through, what they're known for struggling with. It's so important. Fellas, childhood doesn't define us as a father either. Consistency does. Childhood don't define me as a father, it doesn't define you as a father. Nope. Your consistency shows up. Just because you have to pay monthly, that don't define who you are. Anybody can get put on child support, even if you're doing everything you're supposed to do. Message. I'm just saying. But this is the uncomfortable stuff that people don't want to talk about, though. Don't nobody like to have this conversation. But like I said, I'll be the one to have it. Some fathers pay and don't show up. Some show up and still get judged. Yes. It's men out here that don't show up for their kids. And it's men who show up 100% and they still get judged. Off the top. Off the rip. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's just the uncomfortable truth about it. But it's okay though. Because your kids watching you how you show up, when you show up, and which way you show up. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. But one thing, for fellas, we don't have to be flawless and perfect for our kids. I don't know why we get this conception that we have to be perfect for our kids. Our kids going to love us no matter what because they're our kids. As long as you be 100 and open and real with them, they're going to love you 100% no matter what. But the thing about it is, when you understand and you're transparent about what you're working on within yourself, it keeps going. Your growth keeps going. Your healing keeps going up. You keep showing up. You keep choosing the love for your kids over your ego. Your kids should always be more important than your ego. Sometimes you gotta suffer a little bit with your ego to make sure your kids got a smile on their face. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's not. And that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. It's definitely a hard pill to swallow for some men. It's definitely a hard pill. It's hard for every man, I think, but some just don't make the decision to do so. But I'm going to end this episode off with saying this, guys. Fellas, when we going through some hard times, bro, and you realize that road gets heavy and you just want to give up, bro, think about it like this, bro. You're not walking this road for them. You're walking alongside them. They following you. You setting the path for them. You clearing the way for them. So you're walking this walk for a reason. It's not just for your benefit. It's for your kids. It's for your lineage. It's for your boys. It's for your daughters. You set back. You set a legacy. You set a lineage. You're recreating a new narrative for your life and your lineage. And I think we fail to remember that sometimes. We definitely do. But I appreciate y'all tapping in. Episode 43, Fatherhood. It was a good episode. I pray that all the fellas out there, I pray that y'all listen. I pray that y'all take this in. I pray that y'all apply this. It's going to help all of us out on our journey of being fathers, no matter what the circumstances may look like. Still show up, still show out. Be the man that God made you to be, fellas. I appreciate y'all love, y'all support. Y'all still check me out on all social media platforms. You know, year episode coming up, man. January 11th will be a year for me doing this podcast, man. I feel like it's been longer than that. But, you know, consistency. Never stop. Don't quit. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep a lookout for more content I have also coming. Keep a lookout for more content. I got more content coming. I got more vlogging videos to make. A lot of more topics coming. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all love. I appreciate you. All right. Y'all have a blessed night out there. Hey, good night's rest. Have a great day at work tomorrow. Let's be great. Let's be legendary. Peace.